Should do a really stupid face. You're live. Are we live?
Oh, it looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. Can you hear us? Is anybody there? Hello, if you can hear me.
Hello from Germany.
Can you hear us? Hello? Hello? It's so awkward, isn't it?
It is
We could
terribly
just be talking to
awkward.
an empty room. There's nobody there. Well, I'm going to assume that you can hear us. Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the second live video on this channel. They can hear us. Thanks very much, Dan. Yeah. Hi, everybody. You join us tonight from fair Nordrhein-Westfalen with me, AndyManCam, and the beautiful TheLikeableRider. We thought we'd have a few jars. So first of all,
yeah, cheers.
Cheers to everybody. Sorry it's been such a long time since we've done anything, but let's have it. I can't open it. I'm too weak from today's activities.
Yeah, we've been out for a bit of a spin the last 2 days, so it's been good. Good. Bit wet today, but cheers.
Cheers, mate. Prost.
Who's
in?
in?
As we mean to go on.
Who's in?
Yeah, hey everybody. Thanks for coming along. It's been a long old time, but we've been talking about doing this for a long time, haven't we? But just trying to get it arranged and having it being allowed by the government and the travel restrictions and all that stuff and the weather and people renovating their gardens.
Yeah, so I mean, live streams for me is a bit more difficult because I've got so many children here running about. We've shut them in the garden shed for a couple of hours, so we should be good for a bit.
We gave them a bag of crisps though, so they'll be all right for at least a day or two. But yeah, we've tacked this little live video onto a bit of a ride around Sean's neighbourhood. Well, yesterday we had a bit of a blat around here, and then today we spent the day in the Weserbergland trying really hard not to get wet, but it didn't really work very well.
Failed. It wasn't too bad there. I mean, we got piss wet through in between, but it was still sunny for the majority, perhaps.
Yeah, I think the worst sufferer was just our back ends. It seems that both of our bikes are complete disasters with keeping the rain off.
They're
both look like
disgusting.
we shit our pants all over the place for the entire day.
So we got in. Matt's in. Smoky Bar.
Smokey, how you doing, mate?
Evening, gents. Hi from Geneva. Who else have we got in?
Yeah,
a couple from Denmark, a couple from Switzerland.
Good spread so far, considering we've both been pretty quiet for ages.
Hello, Auntie. Long time no see. Kevin Dodds. I mean, most of these will be from your neck of the woods.
Yeah. So how is it all going on out there, really? I mean, I'm guessing most of you guys are from the UK. It seems to be the majority, and I think it's all turned on its head a bit. It seems like we're more restricted here in Germany now than you guys are there. So we're.
Yeah, I mean, we all laughed about UK, didn't we? About not paying attention or not sort of playing the game at the start of the C word. But everybody seems to be further on than we are now. I mean, we've always been allowed out, but we're still vaccinating over 70-year-olds here. So there's no hope for us young whippersnappers with 25 years on the clock.
No, not at all. Well, 26 for me.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, we're going to have to wait a while, but I've registered myself ready for a vaccination, but I don't know. I don't know if this year in summer, I don't know if we're going to be able to do much at all. I mean, hotels is still, everything's closed, isn't it?
So, forget about it. I mean, except Casa Likeable.
Yeah, he is okay. But yeah, we can basically only do day trips, and that's it at the moment. So hopefully things change towards the end of June. They've said by the end of June they want everybody or the majority vaccinated. But I think you can only travel even with one vaccination. You still can't do anything, can you?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've kind of given up hope of ever receiving a vaccination.
I think you have to have two before you can even sort of travel freely. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. I had a track day booked for Monday next week, and that's been cancelled. So can't get the beast on track.
It's a real shame. But that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
It was like, well, you've booked the time off. I might as well come down anyway. Keep you entertained. Mop the tears from your brow.
Yeah.
Tears from your brow? It'd be weird if you cried upwards, wouldn't it?
Any questions in? Is it just everybody saying hello? Oh, the Isle of Man. Amen. Isle of Man, not the UK for me. Okay.
Terry Brooks wants to know why you look different. Is it the hormones?
Yeah, it could be. Probably the glasses and the hat. I can't see for shite, so I need my glasses to read
All
your
that.
comments. Cheers from Hungary. I can't pronounce that. Can you?
No.
Okay. Why does the likeable rider look? Oh yeah, okay, that's when you just. Yeah, if you've got any questions, guys, that you want us to answer, fire away. Do not be shy.
We had a bit of a brainstorm for some things we could talk about to get the juices flowing. What have we got that we could talk about? Well, the weekend we've covered, track days in the bin already.
It's all in the bin. I mean, nobody's got anything planned. I mean, I suppose for you guys in the UK, I suppose you sort of slowly got things coming in the pipeline, but there's no point in any booking anything at the moment for us. So it's literally just days out and see how we go, play it by ear. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much everybody knows, but in Germany at the moment, there's a nationwide Beherbergungsverbot, which just means that tourists staying in a hotel you can forget about it. It's just not going to happen. So, the trips are just really tough, unless you know somebody that lives on the doorstep of the twisties. Because for me, I mean, I did the one day winter wanderings little series of stuff, those 1 day trips, but I'll be honest, they nearly killed me. They were horrendous. Like 800 kilometers in a day in winter with 5 degrees.
It's not ideal, is it?
The arthritis was going absolutely nuts by the end of it. I swear my fingers were creaking as I was taking my gloves off.
Is Emma going to join the upstaging? Yeah, I mean, guys, let us know what you guys have got planned for the. I'm sure you probably guys are a bit more. Well, that wasn't even English. I'm sure you guys are a bit more further on than what we are.
Oh, there's one. Hans Muster. What do you miss the most about your FZ1? Do you know what? This is a dangerous thing to say, but it's hard to really miss anything because the Honda, in most ways, is actually a bit better, and it suits me a bit better for what I want. It's got the smoothness of the inline four, but with a bit more grunt underneath from a twin. So, yeah, I don't know. What
looks cooler as well. Yeah, I'd struggle with that. So
yeah, it's a toughie. I'm just really, really happy with the bike that I've got now. I mean, the FZ1 was fantastic, but yeah, if I was given the choice, I would still stick with the Honda. Although I've had some issues with it, sadly. But I don't know. Maybe we'll come back to that later when we want to get a bit ranty. But I've had some arguments with Honda that have made me feel very wanted as a customer. So it's a bit rubbish.
Yeah, I think that's in general nowadays, isn't it? From all manufacturers, you never really get good customer service. If you're lucky, if you get a good dealership where they can look after you. But I think you hear a lot of it, don't you, these days? The majority, they don't want to know after you've walked out the door with your 15 grand bike or whatever you bought.
Speaking of which, Monty asks, Sean, are you fully sponsored by KTM now?
No, I'm not. The bastards.
A chance would be a fine thing.
Yeah. Everybody in the UK or the UK vloggers are lapping up all their test bikes and long-term loaners, but we don't get a sniff here.
How have you been getting on with it? The Yorkshire Git asks, how have you actually been getting on with it? How would you sum up your experience so far?
Yeah, generally positive. I had a couple of issues. The one issue where the exhaust servo jammed, but that was because we were riding through roadworks and a stone went down it.
Nothing to do with me. I didn't
jam the servo, and it caused the electronics to go into some sort of safe mode. So that got sorted out. That wasn't any fault of the bike, but yeah, we had one yesterday, a new one on me. It wouldn't recognise the key, so it wouldn't start all the time. And while I was out riding, the key wasn't recognised at all. Come up with a fault on the display, but I think it was because I had a power bank in my jacket that was powering my GoPro. Maybe that confused it or whatnot. I don't know. But I moved the key later on, and that was fine after that. But to be honest, I haven't had any major issues. You know, you hear a lot about KTM. You know, the bad or the unreliability of them, but I love it. I mean, it would take
reliably unreliable.
Yeah. But I mean, it would take a lot for me to get rid of it.
I've got to say, actually, yesterday, it was yesterday, wasn't it? When that happened, when you said over the intercom, you were like, "Oh, I've just had a thingy on the display says key out of range." I was amazed by how calm you were. In my head, I'd have been thinking, "Shit, it's dropped out of my trouser leg and bounced down the road."
Well, as long as you don't turn it off, then it will stay on. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've had no issues. There are other things that go wrong with them that other people have had that I know that own the same bike. master cylinder on the clutches and the slave cylinder on the engine aren't particularly great, so people have had issues with them. But I can only speak from my own experience. And to be honest, people are. I think you hear a lot of people. They sort of come up. They generate their own bad opinion on a manufacturer from opinions of other people. They haven't necessarily owned that bike themselves or that manufacturer. But yeah, I mean, obviously people Google bikes before you buy them to see what's up with them. But I always like to judge it from my own experiences.
You're a bit of an opposite of that, though, aren't you? Because you've had Honda, BMW, KTM,
Triumph. Yeah, I mean, I'll ride any bike or buy any brand if it makes me happy riding it. Then
that's the important.
I'm not a through and through KTM or BMW, but if I ride a bike, test ride a bike, and I think it's amazing. I'd like to get on the new Speed Triple RS. That looks a bit fruity. Whether that would get me away from KTM, I don't know. I'd have to have some sort of catastrophic failure, I think, on the beast for me to just chop it in. But a couple of niggly things. But I don't know. It seems nowadays you get that sort of thing on any bike or any manufacturer. The more electronics they throw at these things, that okay. On the other hand, cars have got plenty of electronics, and that doesn't seem to go half as wrong as bikes do. But I don't know. As long as you're looked after, I suppose it's okay.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? As long as you're looked after. Like my Honda experience, I was the other day. I was finally cleaning my bike a bit in the garage, doing a bit of detailing, getting the pipes nice and shiny because it was in a horrible state after the winter. And I discovered that I had this weird pitting, like little holes, actual like little bubbles, almost like somebody had replaced the cover from the generator with a piece of chocolate aero that they painted matte silver. And then I looked a bit closer and saw that on the sump, all the paint had come off. And then when I contacted Honda,
that's bad.
The first thing the guy in the dealership said was, "Yeah, something's hit that. That's just stone chips. That's your fault."
Typical dealer attitude.
But even when I said to him, "Yeah, well, how's the stone got behind this bolt and put a hole in the metal? That's a pretty clever stone to have done that." And he was like, "Yeah, but that's what's happened. It's just tough poo." And then I argued with him, and he took pictures of it, sent it off to Honda. Honda replied and said, "That's normal. That's not a warranty issue. That's nothing we're going to do about that." So really not happy about that. So apparently they then pointed out to me that in the small print in the service book for my bike, there's a section that says that paint falling off, corrosion, particularly of aluminium parts, is to be fully expected. So basically all they've done is they've decided that we're going to paint the bike with metallic cheese, and then when it washes off in the rain, it's the buyer's fault, because why do we want to make high quality paint? So there's a bit of a real disappointment on something that otherwise it's absolutely brilliant. I love that bike, absolutely love it. But if that's the way Honda treat their customers, they're not going to be keeping me around for very long. I can tell you that for sure. So
yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Yeah,
but yeah, it seems that every dealer is different. But
yeah, have we got any more light-hearted questions? We're getting very very gloomy now.
How we did the auction get? Do you think the Black Forest trip would be on in September?
It's tough to say. It's a bit touch and go, to be honest. The numbers are they're creeping down slowly, but not really enough. I think that they're going to suddenly open the hotels, but we can stay hopeful. It's just really tough to say.
Question: the live chat's gone mental. It's just refreshed. Where are we now? UK is opening off to Devon next week and Scotland end of June. The Fridge Inspector. Yeah, good on you. I'd love to go up to Scotland. My parents moved there a couple of years ago, so that was my plan for last year's tour, to do a UK tour of the whole of UK, do the North Coast 500, see my folks, go down to Wales through the sort of Lake District and whatnot. But yeah, that all went down the Carsey. But that's probably going to be my next trip, UK. Unless I'm missing the twisties too much and the Alps gets again, it all depends on what happens with us and where we can go.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to, well, not supposed to, but planning to go to Norway this year for the first time. I was really looking forward to that. But
yeah, that would have been a cracker.
We were hoping for July, a couple of weeks, but it's just
I think I'll be happy if we can travel inland. If that can happen over summer, we can stay in some hotels. Then
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's got to the point, isn't it, where
Yeah.
just so desperate for anything
Something.
really. That and luckily for us, Germany's fantastic. There's so much stuff here.
Yeah, we've got plenty here to fill our boots with. Oh,
There we
yeah.
go. Are
Richard?
there any bikes that have been released this year that have taken you by surprise from Richard Hunter?
By surprise?
Taking you by surprise.
The definitely the Speed Triple RS, the new one. That's I wouldn't have said that's by surprise, but I've definitely got some interest in having a bit of a shot on that. But yeah, what else has come out this year?
I think for me, probably I don't know. It might surprise some people, not really that much, but I don't think not released new, but they updated it, didn't they? It was the Indian FTR 1200. I really like that. I'd love to have a go on that. I'm hoping that some of the reports about jerky throttling, because that's my pet peeve with modern bikes, aren't that bad. But I love the way it looks. It just looks. It's like it looks like the beautiful bastard child of my bike and a Harley, but a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I rode the Super Adventure as well a couple of weeks ago because mine went in for recall, and I was surprised at that bike because I'd ridden the older model, but the new ones had a completely new revamp. So that was a bit of a surprise because that is ridiculously fast for for an adventure bike, and the tweaks and the changes they've done to it, it's definitely a noticeable change. But yeah, I don't know anything else that surprised me. I wouldn't have said there's anything out there that I would even sort of consider jumping on. I don't know. You see all the stuff obviously in the UK with the Hayabusa and whatnot, but that's definitely not my
No. I've got to be honest. I really dislike the look of the Hayabusa. I think it just looks.
I always had.
It looks like a tuner with two wheels.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it does ride all right, but I'm not really interested in chucking a leg over it.
Not at all.
What else we got? I've just been on a small road trip down to Germany today. Okay, hope I'll see you
from the Netherlands, I think.
Okay, cool. How long did the road 5s last, Sean? Well, that was an older video. I think I had about 13,000 kilometers on the road 5.
Yeah, you got shed loads out of them, didn't you?
Yeah, but I think they do 15. I did a track day on that set with the 13,000. So if I hadn't done the track day on them, I reckon I could have pushed them to 15, possibly.
I think I managed 12 and a half, I think, just about. They still had a bit of meat left on them, but I had to do the burnout at the end. So
yeah, I mean, here it's a bit more strict. So I think it's less in the UK. You can have less tread. Isn't it a millimetre in the UK?
The minimum 1.6 as well, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
It's until the dotted line on the inside of the old 10p piece.
Okay, I thought it was slightly less, but it seems that in the UK people rinse their tyres a bit longer here. But,
yeah, no risk, no fun.
Yeah. Evening, fellas. Second jab next week. Pubs open inside. Good job. Weather here is dire. Yeah, pubs. Oh, I miss the pub.
That would be awesome. I had a bit of a hankering for a pub the other day, actually.
Yeah. Hopefully off to the Isle of Man in July. Ollie Tots. That's the only long India's president. Focus all over. Yeah, I don't know. Is that even going to work? Isle of Man? I don't know. That again, it's all stuff that's going to be sort of up in the air until things take a drastic term for the positive.
Yeah. So Kim599, what is your new bike missing that it or you would like?
Who's that to? Where's that one?
That one here.
Okay. Who's that to?
Well, I suppose we can both do it.
Yeah.
Both do it. Mine, what's it missing? I think is a new shock absorber on the back. I really would like to put a new shock on the back because it's shocking. We had some horrendous roads today that it gets a bit out of shape. I mean, the forks are pretty good. The Showa big piston forks on the front, they're okay. I can't really fault them. And I could do with a heavier spring because I'm a lardy bastard. But the shock it's just not very good. Not very good at all. It's a bit of a shame that Honda have brought out this new bike that's got the same components as the old one had. I think it would have been an opportunity to stick something at least half decent and fully adjustable in there.
Yeah. But is it not adjustable at all?
It's got
preload,
rebound damping and preload, but no compression damping of any kind. And the damping it has got is a bit rubbish. It's not great. I mean, I've put a bunch of other new things on it recently, though. I've recently put fancy little Kellerman indicators, like you said earlier on, didn't you? It looks like my indicators are invisible. The smallest little buttons in the
They are
world.
the
They're
smallest
amazing.
indicators, but they're still bright enough. Though it's pretty good.
Yeah. You knew where I was going, even when I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, what I miss on, I missed heated grips, but I had them added straight after our touring of our trip where I cried like a little girl. Maybe the screen from the GT just for a bit of weather protection. Not really looks wise, but I don't know. It did give you that bit of protection when it wazzed it down.
But then with it just comes all that buffeting and
yeah,
cleaning all the bugs off, and then the looks are ruined.
Definitely. But it's probably the only thing I would say I missed from the GT, perhaps. But other than that, I'm pretty casual. Don't really miss too much. Where were we? Are you planning to fit the flashing brake lights to your Honda?
Flashing brake lights? I think probably not. No, because I did actually, when I had the flashing brake lights on before, when I was at the TÜV place, the guy wasn't really sure if I was allowed to have them or not.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's because it's an older bike. But yeah, my bike has the flashing, the indicators flash when you brake hard. So that's enough for me.
Yeah, I noticed that a couple of times today.
Did it happen today, did it?
Yeah.
That's good. So it still works even with the new indicators.
Yeah, they came on.
That's good.
Yeah.
Doesn't show that my riding's any good if I was jamming the brakes on that hard all the time. Shit, another corner! Ah! Where are all these straight bits you promised me?
And are you happy with the change from the Michelin Road 5 to the Metzeler Road Tex 01 SE? Any comments? I've just got Metzler's.
Well, actually, the Metzlers were on the Yamaha, so sadly, I didn't really get to try them very much. I mean, they were all right on the track day, although it wasn't very warm. What was it? It was about 15 at the beginning and about 18 degrees at the end. And I think if it had been a bit warmer, they might have been a bit too sticky, like as in a bit too soft. I had the feeling. But otherwise, yeah, for touring, they seemed great. Just didn't really get to try them very much. But I've got the Avon Spirit STs on now, and they're brilliant. They're absolutely fantastic. I would, as I was saying to Sean earlier on, I'd have them again in a heartbeat. They're so good. I'd say they're as good from my perspective as the Road 5s were. I mean, I don't know if I was pushing the Road 5s as hard as I could have done, but
and they're much cheaper.
Yeah, much cheaper. They're about 2/3 of the price, and they're just fantastic. I really like them, and they're lasting really well. I've got I think about 6,000 kilometers on them now, and they look probably like about a quarter worn.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty on them.
Yeah, and today, the confidence today in the horrendous torrential downpours, and we had some hailstones at one point as well, and just didn't ever question them. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Road 5s, but unfortunately, I can't get them on the new Super G or the rear tire. They don't do a 200 rear. Unfortunately for us, you can get a 190 on the back of mine, but people have done it, but that's not legal here. So, yeah, I've had the Pirelli S22s came stuck on the bike, but I didn't really get on with them in the winter and the wet. So I've got the Road 5s on now, which are super as well.
The Power 5s.
Oh yeah, the Power 5. Sorry, Power 5. But yeah, they do great in the dry. But I still haven't had the confidence of the Road 5 in the sort of wet or the colder temperatures. But
how much do you reckon that could be the tires, and how much do you think that could be the confidence and the comfort of pushing it?
Well, definitely the S22s was definitely a temperature
issue. That was awful. That was terrible.
It couldn't keep the heat in them, and we had many moments for them. But yeah, it could be. Obviously, there's a bit.
We've all seen the footage.
Yeah, some of it can be in my head, but yeah, I mean, like today when it honked it down, I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I don't know. I still didn't feel as good on the Road 5s. But
I think they're more sporty, summer focused, aren't they? So they're a huge surprise. It'd be a bit rubbish if tires meant for all weather were equally as good as tires meant for the summer.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how long they last. I don't imagine they'll go, 5,000-6,000 at the most, I would have thought. And then
you reckon that few? Are they wearing quite quick, are they?
Yeah, it's getting that way. I think the S22s have got 4.5 to 5, and I reckon they'll do a bit more than them, but I don't reckon I'll get anything near. I don't think they'll do 7. I wouldn't have thought, but
no.
No.
Challenge accepted.
Bugger.
I've just found out my missus is watching the video from our place on my account.
Oh,
cheeky man. Well, watch it on yours. We'll get an extra view count.
yeah.
I don't think I'm allowed to watch my own video.
Maybe she'll start commenting as you, don't you? Abuse the punters.
Well, that'd be a bit creepy, wouldn't it?
I've lost my place. Where were we? Where were we? Oh, there was the tyre question. The fridge inspector, TheLikeableRider, is your number plate staying on? Yes, I've ripped that off lately. I binned off the number plate holder that I had and just drilled holes in the number plate and bolted it on. So that's firmly on. What beers are we drinking? We're on the little tiny Bexies at the moment.
From up my way, Brim.
From the Brim. Bex is a nice beer, but you get that in the UK, so probably people have been happy with that.
Do you ever find when you drink Bex out of a bottle, every time as soon as you open it, it smells exactly like weed? Every single time.
Yeah,
it's incredible. It just as soon as you open it, the whole room smells like somebody's just sparked one up.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I haven't had that as yet, but if around 2, we've got something from Bavaria, a nice Kimsey half litre. So I'll knock her heads off later on. Where were we? In Norway, we can go on longer tours. Campsites and hotels are open.
That's interesting.
Bugger.
Yeah, I think the problem
Norway.
the problem that we were potentially facing was getting into the country to start with, and it just being a bit restricted.
Yeah,
quarantine and having to have a test, and it just being complicated. I mean, it's possible it's changed since then, but obviously I think we just kind of left the planning because it looked so hopeless, and it's a bit late now.
I think realistically, if you want to travel or go on a bike tour with less headache, you've got to be vaccinated. I think. I'm sure you can probably get in countries with your negative test, but you quarantine before, quarantine after. That's just not feasible for me to take 6 months.
Or maybe you could use your contacts and get Rucker to make a hazmat suit, so you can be completely isolated from the world.
Yeah, could be. What else we got? Leaving Dorset on the 21st of June, cross the border on the 22nd, going up the east coast, across and back down the west. Is that Scotland?
Nice.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Is that what he meant?
Sounds good, whatever.
Yeah.
You had me at coast.
What else? We got any questions?
Thoughts on engine covers? I've never had engine covers, but crash bars and bungs and things, they've saved my life many a time. So yeah, do it.
Yeah, and I've got my sort of bug spoiler that I have underneath that protects the pipes, and I've had that on the last 2 bikes. But yeah,
some of them look quite good as well now. The engine covers, like I think it was the GB Racing do some quite cool ones. I nearly got some of them for the Yamaha. They don't look ridiculous. The RNG ones are all right, but they're a little bit more obvious because they're like if you've got my engine casings are quite angular and they've got the aluminium-y features on. And if you then stick a rounded carbon fiber thing on it, I think it looks a bit
gash. I think that was definitely missing on mine. I think it looks better with the bug spoiler on without. But yeah.
Are you ever going to get together and do a ride out when it's not raining? We're going to keep trying.
We tried today, but we failed
horribly. But the thing is, we had everything. We went literally from 20 minutes of like we were riding through a lake to suddenly the sun was out and the roads were dry. It's insane.
And that was for the entire day. It stayed like that. But yeah. We managed. Where are we at now? I've lost me.
There we are. How many miles has your bike covered from Chem 599? How many are you at now?
I'm just under 7,000.
Okay.
How long in 6 months?
Yeah.
Which is average-ish. It's a bit low, but obviously we've not been able to do a lot. So
nearly 11 with mine. Nearly 11,000 kilometers. So I don't know what that is in miles.
How long have you got it?
8 months.
8 months. I normally do sort of 15, 16 in a year, maybe, with a big trip.
Because I think if this year had been normal, mine would have been way, way higher because obviously just because I'm so much further away from the twisties, I reckon you probably save...
Yeah.
You save 800 per trip on what I would have to do.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Because of where you are.
Half an hour, I'm already in the good shizzle. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't do any commuting. It's all fun miles or kilometers for me. So it's I don't travel to work or anything on my bike. So it's just purely evenings, weekends, and trips away. La, 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 la. Battery in the key. Want to swap them for a new one? Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll leave it for now. It worked after I moved it away from my power bank, so I think that's sort of the issue.
I think it would be pretty depressing as well if the battery was dead already so quickly.
Yeah, but it was tucked behind my power bank, so I think that was probably the issue. But only time will tell.
That's a good one from Mr. C in the UK. Would you be happy to own your bikes outside of warranty, or would the cost of something going wrong be too scary?
No, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, I think I would. I think, to be honest, I would almost be happier to have it out of warranty because, well, again, I've seen already this thing from Honda that apparently my warranty isn't worth toffee anyway. And if it isn't in warranty, then you don't worry so much about changing stuff or fixing things yourself.
Yeah.
I'm a bit afraid of getting stuck in with my bike because I don't want to invalidate the warranty when they're probably going to argue the toss anyway. The engine could explode and they'll say it's because the petrol was the wrong temperature or something.
I mean, on bikes I've owned over 2 years, I've always extended the warranty for 4. I mean, I had that issue on my S1000.
So German you are.
Yeah. I had all new camshafts after 4,000 Ks on the S1000, so that kind of scared me a bit, so I extended the warranty on that one. But I probably would extend the warranty on the KTM. I did on my GT, and then I sold it 2 months later. But obviously, it was a good selling point to have that on there. But yeah, I probably would extend it. But even after the 4 years, I tend to change my bikes after that. But yeah, I think I would be happy to keep it after the warranty.
Yeah, I plan to keep mine after the warranty. I think it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like as soon as the warranty runs out, I'm going to drop it like a hot potato because I'm afraid it's going to explode or anything. But,
yeah.
But then I've only owned really old bikes anyway. Like my Yamaha, the first one, the 600, was nearly 20 years old, and the thing was like clockwork. It was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, I'm not afraid of it. I'm not scared of it. I mean, the cost would be scary, but then again, I'm not so afraid to get stuck in and get up to my elbows in the bike's guts, pull it apart. I find it all a bit challenging and interesting till it goes really wrong.
I mean, to be honest, I'd like to do more on my bikes. Obviously, I don't touch them, in too much great depth because of the warranty. But I'd happily change the brakes and the sort of minor stuff. But yeah, I'd happily, or even after the warranty, I'd love to be able to sort of do my own stuff on it in the garage. But yeah, obviously with warranty, you kind of have to keep your fingers away from it. But
it was a bit of a turning point when I was pulling all of the electrics out for the indicator. So I've literally completely gutted all the indicator wiring out and rerouted the indicators to a different place on the bike. I mean, you'll see it in the video when it comes out in a week or two. Yeah, completely pulled it all out, made all new wiring for it. So that was like the moment when I chopped into the loom. It was like,
yeah. So any
new bike.
Any wiring issues, that's you.
Yeah, forget it.
You don't need to go to the dealership and ask anything.
I've kept the other stuff and I've got some heat shrink, so I can make it look like it was normal.
Here's a good one from Rich Beyond. What advice would you give for touring? That comes up quite a bit.
Good gear.
Good gear.
Yeah, we've been very scientific with this. When we did the touring of our trip a few weeks ago, if you haven't seen it, if you want to hear two guys moan because their vaginas are frozen up, then go and check it out.
Definitely moist and cold.
We were so wet and so cold, it was disgusting. Oh, yes, please. Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. Yeah, I would probably say, gear is always good. You got to be waterproof and warm enough. But
for good gear, I think that just means laminates, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Laminated bike gear is. I never thought I'd say it because I was always obsessed with leathers and trying to look cool all the time. But laminated stuff is shit. It really is good.
We were pretty comfortable today, although it was miserable. But yeah,
to the point of smugness, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I was like,
I almost wanted to buy a GS at one point.
Yeah, but other advice I think for touring as well is not to make your days too long. Don't give yourself too much of a stretch to ride because, as you know, you don't. If the days are too long, then you miss out. You don't stop for breaks. You don't take in the scenery because you've got to get to where you're going, or you've got to get to your hotel and check in. I've done it. I did it on one tour where every night was a different hotel. That was a bad idea as well.
Yeah. I think the best one I've ever had was where I went to Switzerland with Smoky Bar and we stayed in one little apartment in the middle, and then means you can ditch all the luggage.
Yeah.
just leave the place, do a loop, come back, do a
Yeah.
loop the other day somewhere else, and that's easily one of the best touring trips I've ever had. It was fantastic.
I mean, I always look to see what passes I want to ride, and then you can make up your mind. Normally, I stay in a hotel maybe 2 or 3 nights, and then move on somewhere else, do the passes that I want to do there. Yeah, but keep the days short. Definitely in the Alps, if you're down there, you don't want to be doing over 300 k's. Over 300 k's of twisty passes, and you're definitely going to be baggage. 200 k's is probably a good
definitely.
day.
Well, yeah, we did 250 today. We did, and we went pretty quick, but we just meant we didn't have to rush. We just had time to stop and have a coffee, and we had time for me to get us lost a few times because I was leading the group.
Yeah, and just take some time, take some nice snaps, and enjoy it. I've lost my place.
It also means as well that if, because this isn't a certainty, although it mostly seems to happen, but if something goes wrong, or for example, many moons ago when I was in Switzerland again in the Alps with my folks, we rode over the Grimsel Pass, which we were all looking forward to, and it was just grotty weather. It was disgusting. It rained all the way up, all the way down the other side.
I remember that one.
And then as soon as we got to the other side, the sun popped out.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, we've only planned I think we had a 150, 200 kilometre day that day. So we said, we've got time. Sun's popped out. Let's give it 10 minutes for a cup of tea, and then we'll go and ride it again. And we did. Saw it all in the sunshine with blue sky. And if we'd have had a 300 to 400 kilometre day to cover, because we needed to get to the next hotel, that would have been it. The chance is gone.
Yeah, it's definitely keep it short. I would say that's probably number one.
Yeah.
Or closely to number 2. Keep it short. Right gear on. Bosh.
And do your number 2 in the morning.
And do have a number 2 in somebody else's Johnson. Should be in the Pyrenees now, or 3rd time cancelled from Craig Potter. Burger. Yeah,
that's
I think
rubbish.
That's a rolling theme, isn't it? From everybody's stuff has been cancelled. I've just bought my first KTM. Everyone tells me that they are unreliable. Time will tell, I guess. Yeah. Well, I've had 2. I had my GT for 2 years, and all I had to go on that was the master cylinder on the clutch.
But that was your fault.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Yeah,
probably.
According to the dealer.
Yeah, because I changed my levers to some aftermarket ones, but yeah, that was his way of dealing that initially, was to tell me that it probably wouldn't get covered under warranty because I'd taken one bolt out and.
So the lesson is, don't buy a bike in Germany.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, the issue I had on this bike, on the Super Ducati, wasn't the bike's fault. So yeah, I'm going on near enough 3 years now. I've had KTMs, so I've had nothing major. I mean, you do hear some of the horror stories of people having all kinds of issues, but as I said, I sort of make my own. I buy the bike and make my own opinion over my own.
I think you hear horror stories with all of the manufacturers, don't you? Just every single one of them has their weakness or their slight horror, or every manufacturer seems to just have Monday bikes where on the factory line they obviously just, I don't know, they had too much to drink on Sunday at the barbecue, and then you get a dud and things go wrong. But I think also loads of manufacturers have hundreds of thousands, might be a bit strong, but they have a majority of machines that surely just work. And it's fine. You only ever hear about, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, doesn't it? So it's like Amazon reviews. There's always 50,000 bad reviews for something because nobody goes, well, this is perfectly acceptable. I'm going to write a review about this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably culprit of that. I don't really sort of leave any positive reviews anywhere, but
me too.
You probably should. But yeah, people are quick to smash the negative ones all over the place. But yeah.
Although when it comes to paint on a Honda, I'm even writing to Amazon about it.
Yeah, I mean, BMW didn't used to be, I would have said, unreliable. They're probably more reliable than most, but I had new cams after 4,000 Ks. The engine had to come out of a brand new bike, which is pretty naff, but I got looked after. But
the placement students did it for you, didn't they?
Yeah, they scattered it all over the floor, which I got upset about. Does Germany have more KTM dealers than the UK? They're a bit sparse here. I don't know.
I don't know. I
don't think there's that.
I think there's only one in Hamburg that I know of.
There's one in Hanover, a big one. I think we've got 2 or 3 here, small sort of family dealers.
I think there's more down south. Definitely.
Yeah, it could be.
But,
yeah,
but it's hard to say exactly how many.
and you got the big factory down there in Austria.
I gave up looking or trying because I went into the KTM dealer in Hamburg and I wanted a test ride of. I think I wanted to go on a Super Duke finally because I've still never ridden one.
Yeah.
And
Nudge, nudge.
the guy just if you'd only offer. The guy said, "Yeah, we haven't got one at the moment. I'll take your number," and then just never called me back.
Okay. So, yeah, that's enough. Yeah, I couldn't say if there's more in the UK or more here. I don't know.
So grumpy, aren't they? Such a grumpy sort.
Well, like around here, there's no Aprilia dealerships. I mean, I've seen Aprilias knocking about, but I don't know where there's any dealership around here. But I don't know if that's.
We've got a weird Aprilia dealership in Hamburg because they've got the Aprilia sign on the sign, the name on the sign.
Yeah.
But all they've actually got is Vespers.
Brilliant.
So I think you have to go in and order one specially.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what we got here anymore.
Look at that. Stano. Hello from Scotland to both of my favourite expat motor vloggers who also live in Germany.
Oh. Awesome. Cheers.
When the pandemic simmers down a bit, do either of you have any big bike trips in mind or an ideal trip? Well, I've kind of already covered that, haven't I? You'd like to hit Scotland
Yeah, definitely.
quite keenly, and I'm desperate for Norway, to be fair.
Yeah, man, I'd love to go there. I'm sure that will happen at some point. But yeah, I did promise everybody for last year that I'd get back to UK and meet a lot of the subs and sort of do a trip around. But yeah, I think that's the next trip because I can meet up my family a bit there as well, so I can sort of kill two birds with one stone. But I think that'll be the next trip.
To be honest, I think I'm pretty easy though as well. I really want to. I desperately want to get back to the Alps again.
Yeah, that too.
I really want to go to the Dolomites. I've never been there. Keep seeing amazing pictures on Instagram of people in the Dolomites. It just looks amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I'd really like to go to Spain and see all of it. Just all of it. Just the Pyrenees, the Picos. Even the Sierra Nevada looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think for me, I'd love to do Spain.
Sierra Nevada? That is in Spain, not in California, isn't it?
It sounds a bit California.
It does sound California, doesn't it?
I don't know.
I'm Googling it.
Yeah, but I think for Spain, you got to throw 3 weeks at it because you got to get down to Spain to go direct. It's the worst.
Talking about, I did it in 2 days.
It's a crap ride. Did you do it in a?
I did 1,200 Ks in 1 day.
Did you go?
Pretty much.
The crow flies. Was it rubbish though? A rubbish route.
Yeah, my ass thought it was rubbish. I couldn't walk for 2 days.
Whereas if you went south all the way down through Germany and then head west across, then you can make sort of 4 days of it maybe.
Yeah, I went from here, not here. I went from Hamburg to Clermont-Ferrand in France in 1 day. And I ran out of fuel on the way.
After we just told that poor sod not to do anything over.
Yeah. Well, this is
keep your days short.
You learn from your mistakes, don't you? It was awful. Like when I woke up the next day, I felt like I'd fallen asleep in a Randy football team's locker room. It was I couldn't walk straight. It was awful, and that ruined the rest of the trip. This is why we say to do the short days as well, because your body just
you can't keep up with it,
and it gets worse as you get older.
Yeah,
so once you get north of 25, where we are.
Yeah, I mean, I rode back from the Alps in 1 year because I just couldn't be bothered anymore and I wanted to get home.
That's tough.
800 odd Ks in 1 day. That was a bit grim.
It's just no fun, is it? I mean, it sounds challenging and exciting for the first couple of 100 miles, and then the fun just disappears as well as all the meat on your ass.
How many are watching? We've got 135 in.
Nice.
That's our record. What else we got?
CPU UK. Your thoughts on the 2021 CB1300? I haven't seen it, to be honest.
No,
I've seen it. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a
Google that one.
I'll Google it and give you a live reaction.
Everyone's going all out on the increasing CCs to meet up with Euro 5.
Was it the CB1300 Boldo?
The Boldo? God, no,
Boldo.
I've not heard of that.
I can't type. There it is, Boldo. Yeah, it's not for me.
Sport Toury-ish.
Yeah, a bit retro as well.
Yeah, I'm not into that. Not digging it.
No, that's not my cup of tea. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would like it. It's kind of heading towards the Suzuki Katana sort of direction, isn't it?
With the sort of Fireblade paint job or not?
Yeah. If I
Ish.
can go for those who haven't seen it. That's what it looks like. One of them. Yeah, not for me. I mean,
Retro Sport Tourer-ish.
Yeah. But then I'm not a fan of plastics on the front anymore. Full stop. It's all about
full naked.
Full naked, balls out, wind in your chops. That's what I want.
And the rain and the hailstones. Okay, what else we got? Thoughts?
Smashing
Thoughts?
it,
Any thoughts on the Honda 1000 or the 1100 Rebel?
I think they're quite cool, actually. I don't want one, but I think they do look quite. They look quite meaty, and obviously they're going to probably be a bit more reliable than the stereotypical bikes of that market sector. Although the paint will fall off.
Yeah, goes without saying,
because it's painted in matte black cheese.
I do like the next question from Matt though. Do you fancy a Honda Grom? I'd love something small and stupid. Or the Monkey.
That's what my missus
I'd love to do a massive tour on the Monkey or on a Grom.
I think I would love the idea of it, and then after the first 50 miles, I'd probably think, Jesus, my knees hurt.
Yeah, it could be a bit taller, but the seat on the Monkey is fairly meaty. But I think it'd just be stupid. It's the stupidity of it. I think it's pretty funny. I think you could start off small and just do a few short trips or something. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, if anybody wants to chuck us a couple of monkeys, we're happy to take them down to the Alps. Was another one. Never liked the Boozer, horrible looking thing. Yeah, I agree. With you on that one. What else we got?
Do you miss living in the UK from Lockwood?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we're probably both in there that we miss speaking our mother tongue every so often. The pubs, miss the pubs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean...
the family, obviously.
Yeah. When I go back to UK for a couple of weeks, I love it to bits, and then I come home and then I miss it. But I think to live there, there's pros and cons. I think living in Germany here for like housing and whatnot, you get a lot more for your money. Depends where you go. Where you live, I suppose.
Beer, you get a lot more for your money.
I think
the
bikey side of it.
As a biker, definitely the roads that are available to us are far more expansive, and there's far more variety, and there's just much more of them and less traffic and other cars competing for it.
Yeah,
I mean the attitude towards bikers in the UK I miss though, because
it's a bit more liked today.
Yeah, a lot more accepting. Yeah, we're kind of ostracized and a bit dislike. Or we had a bit of a chuckle about it earlier on when we were riding around, and some bloke was in his front garden mowing the lawn, and he literally dropped tools so he could stare at us as we did a U-turn in front of us. And it wasn't like a bikes stare. It was a,
what are you doing?
There was just pure hatred in this man's posture and everything.
He was disgusted.
And it wasn't even like we were doing burnouts or rev bomb. I mean, your bike is pretty pasty with the...
Still legal?
Yeah, of course, still legal. There was a question actually about whether you're still using the Austin Racing can.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it's still on.
It sounds
until the Rozzers prove otherwise.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think you're all covered, all bases covered. As long as you don't get them to measure it using your decibel meter.
Yeah, that's gone in the bin. Or a stupid thing. But yeah, I mean it's on the level of the limit, but if you get pulled and the Rozzer tests it and it's over, then it's over. You can say what you like to the guy. You can fill in for the E-type approval numbers as much as you want.
The best you're going to get out of that is an apology, maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Retrospectively.
I probably would take it off, though, if I went on a longer trip out of country, say down to the Alps, I'd probably take it off. Because there it's even stricter, I think, isn't it?
I think you say that, but when I was in the Alps,
I'd be worried.
Yamaha, I had the Cobra SPX on, and that was really, really blatty. Like
that was loud.
The thing sounded fruity from the next county. And we actually got stopped by the coppers. And they said your can's quite loud. That's
Fruity.
it's got some throat to it. And then I said, yeah, but it's got the E number on it. Pointed out to where it was, and he just looked at it and went, yeah, okay, off you go.
I think it's down to the copper as well, isn't it? If he's having a
Yeah,
good
probably.
day.
I think it helped that I spoke German to him. Probably.
Yeah. If he's a nice chap and he's having a good day. Yeah.
Although I thought it was going south at the beginning because he stopped us, and Smokey Bar probably remembers this quite well because we both had a brown stripe when we were pulling up to these coppers. But he stopped us both, and this bloke just shouted something in Swiss German, Schweizerdeutsch.
Yeah.
Shouted something in my face really loud. Like, no sé. I had no idea what he was saying, so he shouted it again, and then I said something to him in German, and he just suddenly his entire attitude changed, and he just went, Hochdeutsch, and then started talking to me quite pleasantly in German.
And was nice and fine.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. And at the end of it, he asked where we were going and wished us a nice journey.
Yeah.
It was a complete change.
Yeah,
I don't know what it would have been if I'd have replied to him in Schweizerdeutsch.
Could have given it a bash.
Yeah, well,
I don't think
I
I'd
wouldn't
have
even
been
know
able
where
to
to start.
No.
Oh dear. Right.
What we got? It's flowing in. Can't keep up with it all. If money was no object, what would your dream tour be? I'd say Norway.
Yeah, I definitely would again.
It's not a place, obviously, you can sort of thrash about on. The speed limits are pretty harsh, but just the scenery.
Yeah, I think the views and the roads would just be stunning enough. And I think if money was no object, then you could be a bit luxury with it, couldn't you?
Nice hotels, yeah.
Take months.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of it as well. Like when we were looking at going to Norway, we originally just naively thought, oh, we'll get the ferry from Denmark into Norway, go to Bergen or something kind of like where the hills start to get really interesting, and then ride to the very top and go and see Nordkapp and watch the Northern Lights, and then actually planned it onto a map and thought, Jesus, it's going to take 2 solid weeks to get there. So to be able to have money's no object, let's go and spend 3 months in Norway. Imagine that.
That'd be awesome.
And you could go backwards and forwards and round because everything I've seen, the place looks like a fairy tale. It doesn't look real.
I think if money was no option, it'd be an open-ended ticket. I'd just go and just do what I wanted to do and not be, I've got to be home in 2 weeks or whatever. I just do what I want to do. And if you start to get bored, I need to sort of start making my way home. Sod it.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So any sponsors that want to
send us
throw some money down a bottomless pit,
we're up for it.
We're well up for it.
Yeah, there's one for you. You've been on this. What do you think of electric bikes? I've not ridden one at all.
Not at all. No, really. I'd recommend it. I would recommend it. I think they're absolutely bloody brilliant.
Yeah. And I'd love to get on one.
If I lived somewhere more like where you do here with the twisties around, and if I had a plug socket within 10 yards of my park space, I'd even consider getting one. I think they're absolutely brilliant. I mean, I think it is fair to say that for touring, they're a bit restricted. You don't have the freedom that you do with petrol.
Yeah, that's true.
But for a weekend or just for a day's blat around in the twisties, the fun you can have is immense because the torque is it's intoxicating. It's incredible. Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to have a go on, but I mean, there's not much here in Germany. It's a lot bigger in the UK. Have you ridden any here? You did it in the UK, right?
I did a couple of test rides in Hamburg, but just like 1 hour test rides. I didn't have a proper...
From a dealer?
Yeah, from a dealer.
Yeah, nobody's got any around these ways. Otherwise, I'd have looked into it. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'd love to have a shot on one just to see what the...
Fully recommend it. And I have no doubt I'd put money on you having a great deal of fun.
Yeah, because I mean, when they first came out, everyone was like, electric, what a bag of shite. But, I'm sort of open to everything. I'd only say it was shite if I thought it was shite after I had to go on one, but I wouldn't rule it out if it is the future. We don't know yet, but
when I first rode one, I was ready to be disappointed. I was open to the idea of thinking, well, it is a nice idea because I'm a bit of a closet environmentalist as well, sadly. And I was keen to like it, but expecting that it could be not all that. And I loved it so much. And then when the English Electric Company in Norfolk asked if I wanted to borrow one of slightly longer term, I took the hand off. I was desperate. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I know. I shall have to try that out at some point for sure. Yeah. Chip shop or Inbis?
Ooh, I would say chip shop. That's one of the other things that I do miss from England.
Yeah, fish and chips.
Yeah.
But I do like a dirty kebab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
Yeah, see, I'm
nasty-
off the meat now, aren't
Yeah, of course.
I? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've turned.
That's disappointing. Do you do fish?
I do fish, yeah.
Yeah, fish and chips. That's got to be fish and chips. And I think I had this with the podcast on Bruce, the full English. I miss the full English.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
that
Actually, a
one
little
every
while
day.
ago, my missus made a full English at home. I mean, with vegetarian sausages, of course. But she did a full English because she wanted to make me feel more like I was at home because she
Oh,
sensed that I
bless.
was missing it. She's a good one. She is.
It's normally what I do as
Thank you, my love.
as soon as I get in country is get a full English.
Yeah, I did the last time I was there. I got off the ferry in Folkestone, I think it was. Just went straight into the town to a cafe and had a proper slap up,
Yeah.
fry up.
There's an inch. Oh, where did I go? So a battery charger. Oh dear.
Oh, there it was.
Right, we are. Chip shop or Imbis. I need a new battery charger. Which one shall I buy? What do you use? I use the Optimate 4, which is pretty cool.
Well, I won't thank you for rubbing it in, but I don't have any power in my garage, so I can't have a battery charger.
My bad.
Some people just can't help showing off, can they?
Oops. Yeah, I have an Optimate 4. It's a delight to use. You can attach a little socket onto the battery, so it's just got a plug and play. So you just tuck it in away under your seat. So as soon as you roll in the garage, you can plug it straight in, and it charges as and when it needs it and how much it needs. So it keeps it sort of pretty healthy. So I think there's even a new one. I think maybe the Optimate 5 might even be out. I don't know what functions and features that has, but
Must be lovely.
must be. Sorry. Oh, got some camera stuff here. Work better media mod or cable adapter on the GoPro. I'm a Sony guy.
That's your area.
Yeah, I don't have the media mod because it makes the camera even more bigger than what it is, and it's still not waterproof. I think it's even less waterproof. I mean, trying to waterproof a mic adapter, we sort of stick sort of silicone putty around the connections, and that sorts you out. But on the media mod, that can leak into every orifice, and it's got a boom mic. Or it's not even a boom mic on the mic on the side. So if that gets wet, you're going to trash that.
Yeah.
And it makes the camera at least 20% bigger.
No, it's not for
So,
me.
mic adapter for me. I don't have a media mod. I'm not interested in.
Although I'm tempted in
one.
the future just going back to using an audio recorder for my sound. I'm just sick of
Yeah.
having all that crap stuck to the front of my
The
helmet.
goods on your front. Yeah, it is annoying. Yeah, the waterproof side of things is the main concern. But if you can get the audio right, then it's okay. But I mean, mine was fine today. It wazzed it down for a lot of the day, but it stayed dry, so all is well. What's your favourite pudding?
Well, sweet or savoury?
Mm,
If it's savoury, definitely Yorkshire.
I like a bit of apple crumble, me, for the sweet.
But then, yeah, if it's sweet, I think I'm a sticky toffee.
Yeah, also good. Right, what we got here? There's one for you there.
Are you wearing lederhosen now?
What's that?
Flat cap. Actually, we're both naked from the waist down.
It's a bit warm. Are you changing the plate holder for a tail tidy, Andy? Says Lockwood.
Yes and no. I've changed the plate holder, but I haven't got a tail tidy. But you'll have to wait and see. I've gone a bit custom. I've kind of bodged something that I already had onto what I've already got and made something that I never had before.
There you go.
But it's on the way. Hopefully next week that video will be out there.
Any chance of you guys teaming up with Teapot One in the near future? Ooh!
Yeah, why ever not?
Yeah, I'm sure he wanted to come over. I think was it last year?
Yeah. When we with Bulldog Gaz as well.
But that went down the Kazi because he became all famous and binned us off the shit bag. No, yeah, I'm definitely be up for that. I mean, I imagine I'll try and meet up with a couple of them maybe if I get back to UK. I think everybody kind of tries to meet up with everybody whenever they can, or if people are over, then we always let each other know if we're in country too.
It's just not so easy now, is it?
No, everybody's doing their own shizzle. Everybody's busy. It's not always doable. If people are still working, I know Bruce has gone full time, but if you've got a normal day job and you've got other commitments and other stuff to do, it's a bit more difficult. But
I think we've all got a bit different as well. That everybody's just got used to being in their own cave on their own. So I think when the full lockdown situation is completely 100% gone, I think there's going to be a lot of social awkwardness and relearning of social rules, because we've just turned into these bears that are coming out of hibernation. I don't know how to talk to humans face to face anymore.
And plus, we're all getting old and we're all miserable bastards, and we
that's true.
like people anymore.
So how many people out there have realised through this lockdown thing that you actually prefer just to be on your own?
You're an absolute misery. Yeah. You've turned into one. What we got here? Seen any good ones?
Yeah, Sierra Nevada is in Spain. See,
there you go. Sounded very American.
Cheers, Moto Takahi. Oh, and the Dolomites. Oh, well, if I can make it there one day.
Yeah.
Definitely. As I said earlier on to Sean, as we threw some of my pre-planned route out the way, local knowledge, it trumps a randomly put together route any day.
Yeah. Here's one we can answer. What's with all the new rules on bikes and weekends in Germany? Thinking of coming through Germany next year on a tour? We'll be grounded on Sundays.
Yeah, you're not yes and no, but mostly no.
It's not as bad as people think.
Yeah, it kind of depends where you go. Like we were talking about it earlier on, weren't we? That places like the Eifel is quite heavy with restrictions. But wherever you go, if you know where the restrictions are before you plan your route, you can avoid the disappointment and you can go around them. Like I've only had the most ranty outbursts at them when I've planned this route and looked forward to it because I've heard about a road or seen it on a map and thought it looked awesome, and then got there and found out that I'm not allowed to be there. And that's a real piss boiler. Whereas if you know that it's going to happen, you can avoid the disappointment and go somewhere else, because that's the thing with Germany, isn't it? There's so much here.
So much, yeah.
You don't have to be restricted by it. Yes, it means you can't go on some roads, but and then the obvious other answer is just go in the week. I try. Obviously, it's not.
If you're on holiday, then the weeks are fine. But you can see where they all are. If you go onto Google Maps for Germany and type in biker road restrictions, they all come up on Google Maps. So you can then add it as an overlay. So you can even plan it into your route. So it's nothing too terrible. But,
I didn't know that. That's a lesson for me today as well.
But yeah, I mean, the areas I ride in, Sauerland and Weserberg land that we were today, there's a few, but it's minimal. It's not too bad. Yes, there's a few speed restrictions in some areas, but the only place we've been to together that we found is a lot less is in Thüringen.
Yeah, that's a proper playground.
That's massive. Awesome. That's endless fun in the forest of twistiness, and there's little, if none, closed off for bikers, and the speed limits are higher. There's no sort of speed restrictions just for bike there. It seems to nobody's from the Spas police, Spas Bremses have got their hands on that. So get down to Thüringen Wald.
Yeah, but mostly just if you plan a bit ahead, you can find some fun everywhere, any day of the week.
Would you be tempted to do a budget bike tour like the 90 sports bikes or something for fun? Yeah, we touched on that. I think for me the fun part would be a couple of monkeys, of Honda monkeys, but yeah.
With a memory foam pillow from a poor delicate.
Yeah. But like a budget bike tour, yes, that would be funny, but it's a bit sort of 44 teeth, isn't it? Those guys are sort of into that. You don't want to be.
And the thing is, even a budget bike tour, that the money we'd have to throw at some budget bikes, like they do.
Yeah.
I think that could be money better spent on an amazing tour somewhere fantastic.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to sponsor us a couple of bangers.
Sure, it would still be funny.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Look at that. Scottish Boarhead biker. If you were offered your hair back, but it came at the expense of staying away for bikes for 6 months, would you both take the deal?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm happily boldy.
Although having said that, yesterday was the first time I've actually been out on my bike for 10 weeks.
Well, that's right.
So I've not been that far off.
Yeah.
That's nearly halfway. So I don't know. Although saying that, it was tough. It was tough.
Yeah, but just to have some air on your napper. Nah.
I do get cold nowadays.
I enjoy the baldy head. No helmet hair.
Yeah, that's true. I get head vagina though.
Head vagina, yes, you do suffer from the head
My
vagina.
Alpha 70 prints a camel toe onto my head, which stays for about 2 hours after I've got off the bike. It's awful.
Yeah, weird. I don't get that with the same helmet. It's I'm vaginaless on the top of my head. Why are you guys not bladdered yet? Oh, we're being sensible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And because we're just such hardcore super guys.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice. What do you think of travel and bike hire? Ever thought about touring New Zealand, Australia? Yeah, I think that's appealing.
Yeah, very.
Crashing somebody else's bike is definitely better than crashing your own.
Yeah. It is expensive though, isn't it? Have you ever looked into it?
No.
It's a bit of a crap example, but I did actually look into flying to Iceland and hiring a bike for a week.
Yeah.
And it was thousands of euros for like a week. It was a lot of money.
I'd like to do something more off-road. Whether it would have to be a GS or something, I don't know. But something sort of some sort of deserty type affair or
a bit of Toro adventure type stuff.
Tour adventure.
Yeah.
We need an invite down there.
Yeah. So
Tour adventure. If you're watching.
Yeah.
Get us down there. But yeah, New Zealand, Australia. I mean, I've been to Australia I worked there for 3 months or so. Loved it. So yeah, I think Netherlands. New Zealand I've not been to, but yeah, that would appeal to me as well, to travel there and do a bike tour. Yeah, hiring other bikes. It's appealing. I've done it, not something I've looked into, but I'd be well up for doing it. Where were we?
Eddie Donnelly asks if we're sleeping in the same bed tonight.
Oh, I mean, we have before on the honeymoon suite. Where did we get the honeymoon suite?
It was Zowerland, wasn't it?
Was it?
I just forget. I can't figure it out because we've had so many romantic trips together.
Well, that was definitely romantic. That was a 4-poster with hearts on the bed covers and everything. Yeah. We were like, no, we're not.
Well, I was a bit hurt actually because I paid extra to get that service, and then you turned your nose up at it. Try and make an effort for someone.
Oh, down to the bottom.
Oh, hello. Matt says I should wash my mouth out for the GS comment.
What was the GS comment?
But I nearly wanted to buy one.
Did you say that? I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
You blanked it out, didn't you?
Did I? Oh dear. Which is from the UK with crappy weather. We didn't have much better today.
Which roads in the UK would you say are a must ride?
I don't know. I've travelled so little in the UK. I left the UK when I was 17. So I've not seen much of the UK. And I've never ridden...
8 years ago.
I've never ridden a bike in the UK. Yeah. Yeah, 8 years ago. Yeah, I've got little to any knowledge of biking roads in the UK. I've only seen what other people have done, Snowdonia, Scotland, and Lake District and whatnot. But I've not experienced it myself, so hopefully change that.
Mine's a bit limited because I don't know. I've ridden some awesome roads in England and in the UK as a whole, but the problem is I never know what they're called. I never know what they're called or what they are because I just
that's true.
Find them almost by accident or follow somebody else and then either completely forget because I've just got a dandelion mind or just never really know what they were called. Like I'd been on the Snake Pass 3 times I think before I knew it was called the Snake Pass.
Is that in Wales?
That's up north.
Oh, is it? There you go. No, I've done so little of any type of travel in the UK. Just bits and bobs with family. But since my folks moved up to Scotland, I went to Scotland 2 years ago, and that was the first time I'd ever been to Scotland. Yeah, I moved here to Germany at 17, so I've been here ever since. So I've seen more here than the UK. So yeah, I don't know.
You have seen a shitload of here, though, haven't you? Like I think,
yeah.
Well, there isn't a single place that we've been together where you haven't at some point said,
yeah,
I was here on such and such, or we have to go left here because there's something down there that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, on the
it's
bike,
quite impressive. It's a bit encyclopedic.
I've been to a lot of the edges and corners of Germany on a bike, but yeah, I've seen a lot of the world, but even UK, I've seen very little. I was at a young age where you don't really know interested in that 15, 16 of knocking around the UK.
But I think I've actually, thinking about it, I've had a bike longer in Germany than I have in the UK now.
Yeah.
I think I only had a bike for 3 years in the UK. And at the same time, I had a full-time job. So I'd never ridden in Scotland until I'd lived in Germany for 4 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's similar. I'm in the same direction as you, but not quite as extreme.
No, I even did my license here. So there you go. Been here a long time. 21 years.
Führerschein.
21 years I've been here. Longer than I've been in the UK. Whoops. What else we got?
When is the concert with Richie Vida? We did actually talk a little bit about
having a ding dong.
Yeah, having a bit of a ding dong sing song when he was doing his lockdown sessions stuff. But it kind of never came to anything. And I'll be honest, I haven't really touched the guitar for a long time, which is a bit dodgy because I've got a gig next week, so I really ought to practice.
Is it next week already?
Next week, yeah, next Saturday. Was it a week? Week tonight. I've got to go and sing in front of people, and I've barely even stood in front of more than 3 people in the last.
Oh dear, that's going to
14
be a nervy
months.
one. That'll be a nervy one.
Yeah, it's going to be edgy. I'm going to have a serious series of nervous wheeze before that happens.
Yeah, God. Where is that?
It's
a wedding? Or?
It's in a campsite. It's like a campsite in.
So people just want to get on a bit of a jolly, or is it a birthday?
No. It literally is just this campsite's hired some entertainment to sing to their guests because they're still allowed to have long-term campers, and because it's in Niedersachsen.
That's quite a cool idea, though.
Yeah, but the funniest thing is to get around the corona restrictions. I'm going to actually be performing from the back of a topless bus thing.
I thought you were going to say
Rappelkiste.
Yeah.
So they've got this I think it's a Land Rover on the front with no roof, and on the back they've got a trailer that's got no roof. And I'm going to be sat on the back of this trailer being towed around playing songs.
Are you going to be moving about?
I think so. I'm not sure. They've had to get a battery-powered speaker for it to work. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
You need to film that.
Yeah. Admin asks, what country have you ridden that's had the most fun girls? I couldn't answer that. I don't really know. Yeah, I think
your missus is watching.
Well, A, my missus is watching, and secondly, I don't think biking has ever got any attention from the girls for me. So I've never been riding anywhere and had anything to do with any females.
Well,
ever. I think before or after the missus.
Any place I've ever been to is in Villingen. Just you've been there as well. It's the Winterberg.
No, I haven't.
It's like
it's not true.
It's not. It's nothing. Anything.
No, that's the stag do capital.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's where everybody goes to get tanked up. Stag do 10 nights. That's a bit of a wild town, but yeah, obviously I never experienced
the stories Villingen could tell.
Yeah, but it's a really cool, fun place. But Villingen, if you ever want to go to somewhere nice in the middle of Sauerland, it's a beautiful town. Everybody gets on the lager, have a bit of a laugh. Yes. What is the funniest comment you've ever read under your video? That was shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a toughie.
There are so many. Depends on what context you want to take it. If it's
I might have to think about that.
Abusive, offensive.
I find the abusive and offensive ones the funniest because it amazes me how much vitriol people can put together for a YouTube video.
If somebody's generally upset that you've ruined their day from something that's happened or been said, then they've let loose. I find that more amusing than jokes.
Yeah, definitely.
No.
Dira Rides asks again, how many times do you go into autopilot mode on your motorcycle and choose the wrong lane on the German road? So English left on the German road. We actually talked about this a bit, didn't we? That we're both actually kind of
so German.
Yeah, sorry to say it, but we're the other way around.
Yeah,
we've both been to the UK and taken the wrong turn out of. I turned onto the wrong side of the road out of my dad's street once, but I think your tale was a bit more.
Yeah, that was in Dover. I came out of a petrol station in Dover, and the exit to the petrol station, or from the petrol station, came directly out onto the roundabout, and I just went round the roundabout the wrong way and was planning on going up the dual carriageway up the wrong way until I noticed there was some oncoming traffic, and I could quickly bung a Yui in the middle of the roundabout. But yeah, for me, UK is alien. I rode or drove a car, I think maybe a year in the UK before I moved to Germany. So it's alien for me to ride or drive, or I haven't ridden at all in the UK, but to drive in the UK, it's completely wrong for me.
Whereas I think I drove in the UK for, what was it, 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Yet, I don't know, it's a bit contentious to say it, but driving on the side of the road that we do in Europe feels a bit more right.
It feels better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just kind of works better. Even just simple things like being able to wave at other bikers instead of having to do the weird...
The nod or the kick.
The nod, which always kind of...
looks odd.
Yeah, I can't ever really do it properly. It just looks like I've got a tick, or I'm trying to shake something at people coming the other way. But yeah, with being able to just give it the wave or the cool two fingers that they love over here.
Yeah. It's like anything. I mean, I get used to it after a time if I'm in the UK for a longer period of time, but it's still, you have a momentary lapse and you end up on the wrong side. But I have that more so in the UK than here.
I find it's worse when you're in the UK in a German car. Like when we've taken our car over, then everything's to cock because the wheel's on the wrong side of the car. So you're used to being in the middle of the road, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you do it like you're in the middle of the road, and then it's, oh shit, I'm on the wrong side of the car, so I'm also on the wrong side of the road.
I even find shifting with your right hand's much more natural than
going
all the way up there for the first.
I think for the first year that I was in Germany, I changed gear with the window winder quite a lot. No, we didn't have a window winder, with the door handle.
Oh, I didn't have that.
Even though all this space and my shoulders touching the door, because the missus had a really small car.
Yeah,
I would still reach for the door handle.
Yeah.
Shit. No,
I had issues with the indicators and window wipers, although they're still on the same side. I was still knocking the window wipers when I was wanting to indicate. Strange.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It's confusing that the pedal's the other way around as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. What we got? There's only a few more left. Oh, there you go. What's your impression of the Nurburgring and planning to do it again? ? You go first.
Yeah, it was cool. It was pretty scary though. I think what mostly didn't help is that the guy that we were staying his house in the area, Jochen. Thanks, by the way, again, Jochen, if you ever get to see this video. He made the very gracious decision to give us a few beers and then subject us to a playlist on YouTube of Nurburgring crash videos.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a load.
And so most of them are just so unexplainable. Like people going around a corner on a bike and then suddenly the bike washes out and they're in the ditch.
I think that's the main thing for me. I mean, I've ridden it 3 or 4 times, but I can't say I'd want to ride it again. If I was ever there again, I would go on it for sure. But it's just dodgy. It's just a free for all, isn't it? Everybody's on there, and if you go on a weekend, it's even busier. And I don't know. You do have to be careful on it. You don't really. I don't know. You find out you're supposed to be concentrating on concentrating on your own riding, but you're having to look in your mirrors for Porsche GT3s that are going to clean you out.
And they do as well. They properly buzz you.
Yeah, they don't give you enough room. I mean, if they did, I don't know. under the new ownership that came in a few years ago, I thought they were planning on doing just bike
Really?
tourist laps, but that didn't seem to happen. But yeah, I don't know. It's a massive track. Obviously, the Nurburgring. What is it? 22 k's.
Yeah, something like that.
So unless you ride it every day, it's hard to learn it where you can ride it.
Yeah.
Probably like you want it. And
It was good. It was exciting,
definitely,
and it was enjoyable. But it's
yeah. I mean, if
given
you
the
have,
choice of doing that again or going to the Alps, I think I would go to the Alps.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've always done it on the end of a trip or something. I did go down there on one weekend just to spend the weekend down there, but it was so busy. And I think it was DTM touring car on the GP circuit, so it was so rammed. And in 2 days there, I didn't do one lap. I was trying to, but there was accident after accident, and then when it reopens up, it only opened up for cars first, and then bikes are allowed on it a bit later. And
it's not very encouraging, is it?
No, and then I just binned it off. But
well, I was thankful actually that if you haven't seen the video, do go and check it out. I had an escort, and Matt was down there. Thanks, Matt, for that, for helping us out. I mean, he was incredibly slow. he basically crawled around, and it was awfully frustrating. But
it did show on the video, Matt.
Yeah, but he did know the track like the back of his hand. Like it was what you can't hear on the video because the audio didn't work was that I was getting a continuous commentary of where the line was, how much throttle you should have, how it's leading into the next corner, where the camber's off, where the surface is a bit dodgy. The guy had like this eidetic memory of every single detail of the track, which is incredibly useful. And I think if I had been on my own, it would have been a lot more scary, and I probably would have killed myself.
I mean, I did it once in the wet on my own, and that was a stupid idea. But I think to answer that, I can't remember who answered it or who asked it, but I think to answer the question, I think if you haven't done it before, then you should definitely go because the atmosphere is very cool. There's always a lot going on, and if you can go there in the week, where it's slightly less busy, and check as well what's happening on the GP circuit, because you can, I think, on the Nordschleife, if you buy one lap on the Nordschleife, it either gives you one lap on the Nordschleife or 15 minutes on the GP circuit, I think, if I'm right. So if both of them are open to tourists, you can get on either one. But if there's a big event on the GP circuit, then the Nordschleife is going to be rammed as well. So if you can get on down there where it's a bit quieter, then you can sort of get around it without sort of shitting yourself.
But we were really, really lucky because being so close to it, and we were there on a Sunday as well, just because the chaps that came over and were also in all the videos of that weekend, Matt and Mike, because of work, they had to be there on a Sunday was the only day we could do the ring, so we were expecting it to be rammed, and then it absolutely battered it down with rain all morning on Sunday. But because we had the luxurious position of staying at Jochen's place, which was like 5 minutes from the start of the track,
that's ideal.
We waited for the rain to clear, and by the time it did at about lunchtime, everybody had gone home, had given up and just gone home. And the track was mostly empty. And it dried up by the time we got there. So it was really, really lucky because I think it still felt busy because, like we already said, there were GT3s just brushing the ends of your bars as they were going past at 250 kilometers an hour in the bends.
Even if you're not for riding it, even if you're not for riding it, it's the atmosphere is cool. I mean, I've stayed in hotels generally when I've been there, but in these sort of sports bar hotels, there's always a mega atmosphere in the bars as well. So if you haven't been, then definitely go. That would be the advice I would say.
And even if you either bottle it or don't get a chance to get on the track, the area around there is stunning, absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
It's really close to the Eiffel and all of the riding there. Like you could go down there, look at the track just to say you've been there, and then have some of the best riding of your life for the weekend.
Yeah,
it's immense, absolutely immense.
Without doubt.
And in answer to one of the questions that came in on Instagram, actually, I would say that's probably the best place I would go if I had to go on a trip in Germany from the Netherlands. Yeah, just take yourself down to the Eiffel. It's well worth a little bit of extra distance, and it's not that far from the Netherlands, really.
Yeah. Second that.
Thanks very much, Darren Shaw. Cheers, mate.
What is it there? Oh, yeah, magic. Awesome. There's quite a few Australians that tune in.
Apparently they actually did do bike-only track days in the past, but the accident rate was higher. Although if the Bilsterberg track day was anything to go by, that doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just anyone can go on it, and there's no sort of bike. If you do a track day, sort of bike gets looked over a bit, doesn't it, for sort of roadworthiness and whatnot. But
although I don't know, on the track day we went on, it seemed like some of the people needed between their ears checked over for roadworthiness.
Yeah,
it's just it was really odd. Every single unrestricted session, somebody crashed within a lap.
I think it's the red mist, isn't it? You get on the track, and there's so many people that just because they bought a track bike, they're not automatically the best track day riders, and people just see red mist and they just gun it from the word off, and then they end up binning it.
The thing is, they obviously don't even. Well, I say this like I'm such an expert, I'm such a track guru. I've been on track twice, I think, or 3 times in my life. But that one dude, there was a session in the afternoon. No, we did a morning thing, didn't we? There was one chap went out on an unrestricted session, and then completely destroyed his Panigale.
Oh, that was bent, wasn't it?
In one lap. He didn't even warm the tyres up. Like, just one lap, and he ruined that bike. It was banana shaped.
And the fact that it was wet on the first session, and all the heroes were going out on their slicks. I'm like, yeah, we'll be fine. It was wet, and then it was in the first lap. I think 2 or 3 people binned it.
Unbelievable
nightmare. But yeah,
stepdad's good, thanks to Ducati Richie. He's continuing with his dialysis, doing great, loving life. He's proudly told me the other day that he's busy doing nothing as much as possible. And Deacon St. John, how's the ear, Andy? Yeah, it is pretty good, actually. This was a bit of a result this weekend because it's the first time I've been able to get my head into the Arthur 70. It's a bit tight. So this ear, for those of you who don't, it's a little bit pink, actually. You can see that. It's a little bit pink. This ear was actually cut all the way around the back and peeled off my head so that they could do some stuff in there, which means it's all been sewed back together. So this was literally the first time that I could actually fit it into a helmet without the feeling like the Velcro was going to come undone. But yeah, it's on the mend. It's going well. Thanks very much. I'm gonna make a proper video about exactly what happened and why, and make you all feel sick with some disgusting Frankenstein photos. So yeah, look forward to that.
Jen says, where would you love to go and ride your bikes where you've never been before? That's a nice question. I think it'd have to be the off-road for me. I've done little off-road.
What kind of off-road do you mean? Like just in green laning or like proper Morocco?
Yeah, hire some sort of adventure-y type machine and just off the beaten track the entire time. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I'd come with you.
I did some off-road in the younger days, but it's been so many years since I've even done anything, even remotely, apart from what we did on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be in the video and all. Nice for a building site. But yeah, I think off-road appeals to me very much so. But yeah, it's just so, even green laning here in Germany, we just can't do it. It's all illegal. So
it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, literally every single thing that would be classed as a byway or a green lane in the UK here has a sign saying, unless you work for the Forestry Commission, get stuffed. We're going to throw you in jail.
And every sort of forest, it's all nature reserves, all protected. You can't trash it, and but
what is that about? Not being able to trash the nature,
trash the planet. What is? But yeah, I think a dirt bike in the garage, that I'd love that, just to have something completely different, total opposites, just to bin it around it or bash it around the woods for an hour or so. That'd
be brilliant, wouldn't it?
It's definitely appealing. Yeah, bugger. Where are we at?
Have you ever done an advanced rider track day? Would you consider one? You've done a bit of Kurven training, haven't you?
Yeah, and bits and bobs in between. But I'd love to. I'm always up for learning new stuff and even just improving. So,
but your track day that got binned, that was a cornering training.
Yeah, that was with instruction, and it was a bit more expensive than the last one we went on. But I think that one wasn't really with, although it was with an instructor.
Yeah, it was a joke.
After the session's finished, he was like, "Yeah, okay, see you later," and didn't say a thing. But the first time I went to Bilsterberg, we did get instruction after every session. He called us into the hangar, and and he was actually watching us and riding behind each individual to sort of give us tips. So that's why, I mean, I think eventually I'd like to just do some free sessions, but I'd rather learn a bit more and then.
Yeah, definitely.
Because otherwise you fall into that thing of it's a free session and you just whap and then
Yeah,
you crash.
before you know it, it's either it's over because you've binned it into a bend, or you've just had so much excitement and adrenaline and suddenly it's all over and you didn't really learn anything. You did the same shit as you did last time.
Or I ride too slow. I'd rather ride with somebody better than me and sort of try and keep up and take his instruction, because I think you learn more. I think I don't know. I don't know if I'd ride too slow if I went on me Todd.
You reckon?
I don't know. Maybe not, but I'd rather ride behind somebody that was far.
Yeah, I think so too. Actually, yeah. When you're in front, it's a bit easy to rest on your laurels a bit and just be cautious, isn't it?
Yeah, and so a lot of the time I daydream.
So great quality for a biker.
Yeah, I do it a lot of
time. You've got 180 horsepower and you're just thinking about gardening.
Yeah, but even when I'm touring, I pay little attention to where I am. I have no idea most of the time where I am. Even my missus phones going, "Oh, where are you?" Absolutely no idea. I'm just plumbed
on the bike.
I've stuck it into my sat nav and gone twisty as it will go, and then I just go. Don't really pay attention to any road signs where I am, but
I get a little bit of tunnel vision sometimes with just concentrating too much on the lines and the corners and the bends and also not looking at the scenery, which is a bit of a shame. Like sometimes I just get so like, oh my god, this is brilliant, and just concentrating on everything between those two white lines.
Yeah, there's that. I tend to do all right with that, but yeah.
I need to slow down a bit more and just look around a bit.
Yeah,
which I'm doing more of. We were a bit more relaxed today.
I enjoying the scenery. I just don't know where I am most of the time because I don't pay attention to that. But I think that's the kind of, although we rode without sat navs and you kind of had to sort of, it was a bit more of a stressful ride, I found, because you got lost a lot of the time and you possibly didn't find the twistiest route. I think now because you can just type in a destination and go, that's where I want to go. And
let the computer worry about it.
Your sat nav will plan in a fuel stop for you if you ask it to, and you can just really just enjoy what you're doing, and then you can give it a bit of beans. Yeah, okay, you may not pay attention to all the scenery, but yeah, it's become so easy just to get around.
It's true, you don't have to have your nose on the map anymore, do you?
No, you're not stopping every sort of 10Ks to look at the map.
I think that was a big plus today, actually, for me personally. I was testing out the Beeline thing today, but not the full Beeline. I went for the cheap Beeline.
The poor man's Beeline.
Yeah, the pauper's Beeline, big time. Because if you download the Beeline app, you can actually plan your routes and then display the little arrow thing on your phone screen. So if you've got your phone in a holder or on the handlebars or whatever you're into with that, you can actually use the Beeline system without buying the Beeline, completely free.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
It works
that takes away the looking at the map. Didn't look at the map at all, which meant that I had to read the road a bit more, look at what's happening, which forced me to look around a bit more.
Yeah, I think that's good. Although I've relied on a sat nav for so many years, I think it would be good for me, like we chatted about today, because a lot of the time it does distract because I use my screen to watch the severity of the corners. And if I'm leading, I look in my mirrors too much, plus watching your sat nav. So you pay attention to not very much.
Plus the daydreaming.
Yeah, and I've gone wide on many bends because you're too busy looking at something else. And I think it's a cool idea, and it did work well, didn't it? Apart from the first sort of 5 minutes.
Yeah, there was a few hiccups at the beginning because it took the whole route the wrong way round, wrong direction.
Yeah,
but yeah, ultimately I thought it was really good. You get enough information because it tells you where to go.
Yeah,
without anything to distract you.
A couple of times we missed a turn, but maybe you were daydreaming. Maybe it wasn't as quick. Maybe it wasn't as quick to let you know where to turn.
Sometimes it was a bit slow. That was it. The phone was slow to react. That was what it was.
Could be. Any plans to come over and do the TT, the Yorkshire Git? Well, the Yorkshire Git.
The TT?
Do it.
Ooh. Yeah, I'd probably be lucky to manage a 50 mile an hour, I reckon.
It could be. Well, I've been many times because a lot of my family live there, so hotels is not a must for me. I've got plenty of places to stay, and that's probably the main thing that puts people off. Although nowadays it's become so big, I think you have to book with 2 years in advance your ferries
Really?
and your hotels, and even it's become so big that people are renting out bedrooms in their houses, and you share a
Yeah.
double bed or something with some stranger.
We're
But
making a few bob as well. Aren't we?
yeah, but people pay it. But
It's just for us. It's well, like you said, for you not so much. But I think geographically for us, it's a logistical disaster to get there.
yeah, two ferries,
Yeah,
overnight ferry from
8 hours from here
Holland
to the
to
ferry port.
or Newcastle. Would you go Newcastle or Hull?
You could probably go
Hull, right?
Rotterdam to Harwich or something.
Yeah, and then across is it to Liverpool? Liverpool to the Isle of Man?
I don't know.
But yeah, you're talking probably
At
towards
least
a
a week to
grand
get there.
and a grand just for your two ferries. I think it's like it's a thing that you possibly have to experience once. But I've been 2 or 3 times in my younger years, but I possibly wouldn't want to go anymore because it's. I think we spoke about it before. I'd rather spend that money on a bike tour where I was riding than just watching others ride. And because it's become so busy and so big, it's basically just a piss up, isn't it, for 2 weeks or so?
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree. Like I've always been afraid to admit it too loudly, especially on a bike-related YouTube channel and in bike-related circles. But
yeah,
like with stuff like the MotoGP, I don't really watch it very much. I don't really follow it that
I'm
closely
into it.
because if I've got a bunch of time, I would kind of rather be riding my bike
Yeah,
than watching other people do it. I mean, I know they do it a lot better than I do, but it's not as exciting. I don't get quite as much wind up my flaps watching them do it as I do doing it myself.
it's the thing with the TT. It's the experience of it. It's the atmosphere. It's buzzing. But if you stand on the side of the track, the speeds that do, and you don't even see them when they whiz past. And it's obviously a time trial, so it's not like you see 30 of them all herring past you. It's all one every few minutes sort of thing. But yeah, it's the atmosphere. I think you've got to do it at least once. But I think gone are the days where, because I think they open it up before race week, you can actually ride the circuit yourself. But because it's become so huge, thousands of people want to. I think they rode the track, but they all rode in walking speed.
Really,
22
k's. That would frustrate me massively.
And
if you're going to ride something,
yeah, but that's when most of the fatalities happen as well. When people get on, I think
it's on my list. It's definitely on my list, but there are a lot of other things ahead of it for sure.
Yeah, very cool. But
I'd sooner go to Norway.
Yeah,
I'd actually like to go and ride in Iceland. Like I mentioned earlier, when I was thinking about renting the bikes, I would still really like to go and ride in Iceland, do a lap there, and do some off-roading in Iceland would probably be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's got to be on my list of something to do off-roady. But yeah, again, TT too big, too many people.
Yeah,
we don't like people as we get older. Miserable.
We don't want to do anything. We're just grumpy bastards, both of us. Fun, none here.
Oh, Matt Rose in the house. Hi, Matt. Matt designed my logo for me.
And Matt of X mini bike fame is there as well.
Who's that?
Matt did a bunch of. He let me have a go on his mini bike a couple of years ago.
Oh, cool.
He says that if he still did it, you could have a go, but he's binned it off now.
Oh, really?
But hello, Mac. Thanks again for letting me have a go. It was a proper good crack. That a couple of videos that sadly wildly underviewed, like a whole series of mini bike stuff that's sitting out there. If you're interested, can have a look.
Yeah, I did a couple of pit bike stuff. I've got one booked that got cancelled twice, so God knows when I'm going to get to do that. But I've done 2 videos of that, but that was a disaster as well. Nobody really watched that, but that's immensely amusing and funny. Yeah, people crashing. I crashed a number of times. It's the way they do it.
What else have we got?
We're about done.
What bikes would you love to own? Money No Object from Biker Madness 1.
That comes up a lot, doesn't it?
I would hazard a guess to say that you kind of already got the one you would have. That's a bit of a dream machine, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it could only be topped by the Street Fighter, because I think that is the Ferrari of super nakeds. I think still yet to ride it, but yeah, I don't know, what does that cost? 25 grand, 25,000 euros, maybe 26, maybe. So I think that would be, if that was money was no objects, then maybe. But again, I've not ridden it, but I'm sure it's pretty good.
Yeah,
cheeky.
Yeah, it does look pretty saucy, doesn't it? I'd quite like to have a go though. I think my experience with Ducati so far, makes me think it's just not my flavour.
Yeah, it could be.
They've got too much character for me. I'm too boring.
Yeah, it's definitely the posh man's the Ferrari, isn't it? Of bikes.
Yeah.
It's got some appeal to it for sure, but yeah, definitely expensive.
I think had I had not a lot more, had I had a bit more money in the budget when I got my bike, probably would have liked to have got a Street Triple RS.
Yeah,
that was something that was really high up on my list. The I think it was the 2020 Street Triple RS was like,
that's cool.
I
Yeah.
would really fancy that, but
It's
the insurance was insane.
It's small though.
Is it?
I went on the 2010 bike.
The street or the speed?
The street.
It's small, is it?
Mm.
Oh, that's interesting. See,
For us,
yeah, I decided not to sit on one because I really like the look of it.
Yeah,
I was hoping to, was in talks with Triumph in UK to actually have a go on one.
yeah.
And then the COVID thing happened. But then I just binned it off. Didn't sit on one. Didn't try one because it turned out that I couldn't afford to run it.
Okay.
The insurance was double what the Honda would have been in Germany, in Hamburg.
Probably get on with it. I mean, it was a great bike. I mean, I took even with the 890, the KTM 890. I went out on that, and it was a great bike. But I felt a bit silly on it.
Yeah,
I felt like I was enormous
really? Yeah.
sat on it. But
yeah, interesting. I probably have to have a go. But then, yeah, like I said, I've got the bike that I'm happy with for now. But yeah, money no object. I'd probably give it a go. But yeah, if you think it's too small, interesting. I don't know what else then, because bike exotica, like stuff like MV Augusta and that kind of stuff, doesn't fill me with joy, to be honest.
I rode the F4, found it a bit of a pig.
Yeah,
you had to be wringing its neck.
I'm just easily pleased. I think I'm happy with something that's cheaper as long as it does it well. And the CB1300 for me does all of it. It's it's pokey. It looks cool. It's just the paint falls off.
Yeah, I mean, the only interesting bike that I do want to have a go on is the Speed Triple, which I'm trying to get a pop on. Even I'd love to go on the Street Fighter just to have a go on it, but it's a bit. That's definitely out of the price league. That's ridiculous money, but of course. And even the running costs of it they're pretty high. But yeah, so I don't know. And the pig of getting into a dealership and sort of pretending to want to buy it just because you want to have a test ride, it's a bit of a nose, isn't it? But
and the excess as well that you have to lay down.
Yeah.
Like when I went to I did the Ducati test rides a little while ago, and I took the Hypermotard out for a spin.
Yeah,
and it was the Hypermotard super duper version with all of the Öhlins everything.
Yeah,
and they actually booked €2,000 off of my bank account, but I didn't have it all, so they took like 1,500 or something. But they actually took my card, and took the money, and gave me the receipt for it. And so if I'd have crashed it, then they already had the cash.
Well, I've never had that before. I mean,
which would have been shocking when I had to pay the rent.
I mean, standard is $1,500. I think I've always had to sign for that, but I've never had to pay
2.5 for the Honda when I took the test ride.
Oh.
I had to sign the piece of paper saying I accept liability for $2,500 if I scratch it.
I'd probably give him the keys back if they had to swipe my card, and actually, I probably wouldn't have done.
Yeah, but it was only because I was actually thinking
of getting.
It was the Monster I really wanted to try. I tried out the Monster 821, and I was thinking of buying it. So I thought, well, I want to test ride it because I need to know. But yeah, it was a bit of an uncomfortable feeling when they said, "Can we?" You
have to pay that before.
Yeah. I think I had to do it across 2 cards as well because it was over my limit, and they actually wanted to take the actual money. That was the insane part.
Didn't you read somewhere in the small print that doesn't also cover you for media? Sort of filmed tests.
No, that was for renting a bike. I looked into renting. I wanted to rent a Z1000 for a weekend, and in the small print of the rental agreement, it said if it's for media, magazine, video, any kind of publication, the insurance is invalid. They're just massive joy destroyers.
It's a bit geeky, isn't it? God.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, the UK vloggers, they get test bikes and long-term loaners thrown at them, but
all for free, no risk.
Yeah. But we just don't get that here. So it's the German sort of market just haven't embraced the social media.
No. Or they also don't care about us because we're doing it in the wrong language.
Yeah, that too. They've got no benefit from us. Well,
But as we've already found out, we're not funny in German.
no.
Order.
Order nicht.
All right. We're getting close to the end now. I think
We rinsed it all.
What,
I think a few more come in.
If you were to throw a dart of the map of the world for a sponsor ride, where roughly would you gentlemen be aiming? Yeah, I think again probably Norway, Iceland.
Yeah.
Something exotic and up there.
So, something long. I'd love to go on something longer than 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe a month. That would be cool.
Or something a bit like what Fagan and the 44 Teeth lads are doing, a bit of a Dakar sort of event. That'd be quite
something
cool.
challenging, something long, something far away.
Yeah.
Somewhere I haven't been
a bit
before.
gnarly.
Yeah, a bit gnarly. Off-road. Yeah, off-road, definitely.
I'd have to get fit though. I'm so creaky.
Oh yeah,
10 weeks off the bike and then
and off-road's 10 leagues above road riding for fitness. Yeah, we definitely cream in.
Well, that's a good one from DD. What racetrack would you choose for a track day anywhere in the world?
I think because I'm a MotoGP fan, definitely Mugello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd go for Laguna Seca.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would just remember it from Gran Turismo. Absolutely loved the shit out of that track. It was brilliant, especially the corkscrew.
Yeah.
Imagine Bilsterberg. That's got a bit of
I love that.
Imagine that, but way more like that corkscrew where you come in on the high gentle left, and then it just drops and comes around to the left and round to the right.
And you feel like you're just going to wash out into the.
It's blind bravado, and who's got the biggest bollocks to.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
I'd love to just have a track bike and do a lot more. Unfortunately, tracks or race or even with cars, sort of race sport hobbies is expensive here. Right? I mean, in the UK, it's not cheap either, but it's I think it's definitely a lot cheaper than here if you're into your racing and
absolutely.
I'd love to do a lot more, but I mean, the track day that I'd had booked on Monday. In 2 days' time, that was $335 for the day, that's not something you want to do every weekend or even every month. You're not going to be.
If you think you can go and do a no limits track day for what, like 85 to 100 quid, it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, if I was in the UK, I'd be definitely doing it a lot more than what I do now, for sure.
Yeah, I think me too. It's a great place just to hone your skills, isn't it? And see how fast you can actually go on your machine without so much danger of hitting an Audi.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's something to be taken away. It's not just to ride like a lunatic for a couple of hours, but I think you do take a lot away from it. You learn a bit more of where you can push, where you can't, and you can apply stuff to the road from it. And the same with off-road, learning not to shit your pants if your bike does something that you're not expecting. Definitely up for honing in more skills.
Quick answer to Hans Muster's question. No, we haven't ridden each other's bikes. Have you ridden a CB1000? No. No, I haven't ridden a Super Duke, so that's maybe still on the list. Although one of my personal nightmares is laying somebody else's bike down the road. Like, imagine laying a mate's bike on the floor and then having to tell him about it. I couldn't do it.
Well, we'd obviously see it, but we'd be like, oh.
No, I couldn't bear it. And you can never guarantee that's not going to happen. And I have got history with dropping my own bikes on the floor. So I nearly dropped mine today, for God's sake.
Oh, you did?
Oh, Jesus. In front of people as well. Like, we're riding around in the middle of nowhere on soaking wet, slippery roads. We even rode through a building site and a cement bog and nothing. And then we pulled in front of a cafe and I nearly laid it on the floor.
It's the unconcentrated tip over that always catches on. No. But we'll do it. I don't mind swapping bikes. I mean, obviously you do ride somebody else's bike slightly different to yours. You don't get too shitty pants mad.
Yeah, true.
But we'll definitely have to have a swappage. Where are we at?
I think that's almost it. Maybe we should do one more and then call it a day. Oh, hello, Marius. Welcome along.
Oh,
sadly, you've come very close to the end. And Snow Crash, hopefully we're going to be able to bring lots more this season. I mean, fingers crossed that everything opens up enough. But we'll try. I think the last one is probably, we both answered it here and there in other videos and at other times. But Glenn Ollerenshaw for the last question says, "Hey guys, love both the channels. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What made you both move and live in Germany?" For me, it was the missus.
Yeah, even we've got different stories, but
I met my wife.
Love and romantic you.
Yeah, I met my wife in London. I was playing an open mic night, being super deep and moody and rock star like, and she fell hopelessly in love with me, and then the rest is history. So, being a traveling Wilbury and a musician and a freelancer and a waster and a drifter, it was easy for me to come to Germany, and then still here, and we're still together, thankfully. So.
Yeah, for me, I moved here when I was 17, when I was with the military. I joined the military when I was 16, and then I got posted to Germany when I was 17. I left when I was 28. Yeah, same sort of thing. So I was stationed here for 11 years, met my wife, we had kids, built a house, and yeah, we stayed. So that was my reason for being here.
Yeah, and now you've been here longer than you've been in the UK, in the homeland.
Yeah. 21 years I've been here. Long time.
Would you say that causes you to call Germany home?
No.
I mean, deep down.
No, I don't think it'll ever be home. I don't know.
It's until customer service is improved.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely do. I do feel at home, but I definitely miss the English interaction.
Definitely. Yeah.
You know, with my missus and the kids, I would have said 80% of the time we speak German at home, so it definitely sort of dwindles away. So I do miss that, and I did have a lot of mates here that were still serving in the military that moved away over the years, and it's just got less and less and less. And now I don't think any of them are still here. They all buggered off back to UK, and I ended up staying. Now there are a lot of English still here, but I don't know. Most of my mates have, or all of them have now gone. But yeah, so I do miss that. But hey,
yeah,
the roads are great here for biking.
They are.
That keeps me sane.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. So call it a day, shall we?
Yeah, let's. I don't think there's any more come in.
Yeah. So thanks. Absolutely shitloads, everybody, for coming along. Thanks for joining us. It's been great to have a little chat, a couple of beers.
Most definitely.
And show our faces again, because we've both been a little bit quiet of late.
Yeah, I've been busy as hell. But yeah, it's all opening. It's all coming back. Hopefully we can all get out soon and plan a few trips and get away longer than we can. We're only doing day trips, but
yeah,
hopefully the light is at the end of the tunnel that we can at least get out for a longer trip. So we should see. Yeah,
I hope so. And at the very least, look forward to a couple of videos from each of us from this weekend. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks for having me along, mate.
No worries. Always a pleasure.
It's been awesome just to get out and on the bike and spend more than one day with 4 hours of motorway at either end. It's been great. But yeah, look out for those. Thanks very much for watching, and guess we'll see you
in the next one.
Yeah.
Take care. See ya. Well, you can even